Next, we're going to talk about how to live frugally on little to no money. And so, to do this, you must adopt a lifestyle that really emphasizes smart spending and minimalism and simple living. Basically, living on the basics of life, the things that you need. So, here are some tips on living frugally. First, live in a state or place with low living costs if you can. Certain states do allow you to buy homes at a lower cost, pay lower taxes, live off of cheaper costs for insurance, food, gas, and utilities. If you have the option, definitely choose one of these states where they have a lower cost of living. And so lower cost of living places, they'll allow you to retire more comfortably and also live a better lifestyle on less money. Some states with a lower cost of living include Ohio and Tennessee, but there are definitely a lot of others as well. Next, to live more frugally, you can shift your mindset. We do live in a world of consumption and materialism, and so there's a lot of things that we can buy that we just don't need. And so I personally do not enjoy shopping. I don't shop very often. I don't enjoy the white, bright lights in shopping centers. I prefer a more comfortable yellow lighting and soft ambiance. So overall, I just avoid shopping. I don't necessarily enjoy it unless I have to be shopping. And so one thing you can definitely do in this, world of consumption and materialism is you can go shopping less often, and you will notice that even shopping less often, you'll still be fine. You'll still make sure that you have the necessities of life. You will be perfectly fine. You don't have to go shopping for groceries every week. You can go every 2 weeks. Now, if you have children, you may need some things that others don't need for their basic living, but in general, just go shopping less and be a little bit more careful about all the different things that you're buying. So we do not need that much to live off of. The most important thing we need is a safe place to stay, food, or the ability to travel or get around from one place to another. So we don't need soft drinks, we don't need cereal, we don't need other snacks. Those are really just things that we buy that are extras. And so we could live a healthier lifestyle on salads, chicken, beef, water, tea. Keep in mind the essentials of life. Shift your mindset toward mostly and only buying the things that you really need. Allow yourself to splurge only when you can afford it. And so that will really help you live more frugally and have a better budget, which leads us to the next topic. Create a budget. I enjoy having a budget on Excel or Google spreadsheets, which is free. Google spreadsheet and Google Word documents are free to access. You just make a profile, and they are very priceless. They automatically save, so you can't lose them. And so I often maintain a budget on Google spreadsheets or Excel, and I usually calculate my cash flow, my expenses, and my income. And I really track, how are my expenses looking? Are my credit card bills really high? And then, when you're budgeting, try to minimize your expenses and increase your incomes. So you can definitely cut back and track your expenses a little bit better when you have a budget. And so I really recommend having a budget on Excel and getting a little bit of insight into the cash flow that you have, and see how your lifestyle shifts and changes can really affect your budget, and see what you can afford. So the next tip is to cut back on unnecessary expenses. So identify expenses that are not essential, such as dining out, going to restaurants, doing certain subscriptions or gaming services. Just cut back on the things that you don't necessarily need. And, there are a little bit of contentious ones that I personally say go all in on, and these are the ones that produce you income. And so I am very heavy on advocating that you want to reduce your liabilities and increase your assets. And so in reality, your home could be a liability, but you could turn it into an asset. I encourage building your assets. And so, for example, I may have said that gaming can be a costly expense. Buying the PlayStation or Nintendo, it's like $500-$700 down, and then all the time that you put in. But what I'm saying in clarification is that if gaming it brings you income, then it is an asset and more like a job for you. And in this specific example, I would encourage it. Do the things that are making you income, do the things that you're working and relying on, build your assets. It's the liabilities that you really want to decrease. So if your car just brings you expenses, try to minimize and cut back on how many cars you have. If your car is listed on Turo and it's bringing you income, then it's an asset. You're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. So cut back on the things that you don't necessarily need. Cut back on the unnecessary expenses that you have. And so the next item is shop wisely at shops to get better deals. And so if you are shopping and you're at a store with higher prices, expect almost all the items in the store to have those higher prices. If you walk into a store and the prices are way better, way lower, then expect overall the store to have much lower prices. You can really make this generalization in most places. There are some certain items or products that you could get at certain stores that are going to be cheaper than others, and so you can't necessarily create like this huge bias toward or against all stores, but logically the logic is very reasonable. When I walk into Walmart, I know that if I buy groceries, I'm going to spend more. If I buy everyday products, I'll probably spend less. And then if I go to Target, I think Target is a little bit pricier for sure, not just for groceries, but also everyday products. So if you go there, you're probably going to spend more. They might have better quality. And so you can really understand that if you walk into a more expensive store, you're going to walk out spending more. So if you want to live frugally, choose the stores that are more reasonably priced. So there are places that have alternatively lower prices and better deals for the same certain item. And so look for these stores with the deals and the discounts, but most importantly, actually lower prices, not just, when they say 25% off, and then in reality, it's still really expensive. Those deals, they don't matter. What matters is the total price that you're paying and walking out the door with. And so they can write as many discounts as they want on this item, on the product. They can have yellow signs for 25% off on the entire store. They could all be going bankrupt. But in reality, for example, I went to Best Buy because they are going supposedly bankrupt. And I walked in the store hoping to get some deals because of this, and I literally browsed all the different items, saw that they were all still overpriced, and walked out buying nothing. And so this is how you live frugally. You know what price is an affordable, good price. And regardless of any discount or deal, if the price is still not good in the end, that final price, then you walk out and you don't buy it and you buy it somewhere else. I'm pretty sure that I could buy items pretty cheaply on Amazon because there's so many options, and you could really browse and browse and research until you find the cheapest item. So my favorite stores for buying frugally, like everyday products, is probably Walmart, probably Aldi's, and probably the Ocean Job State Store outlet, whatever it's called, and also Amazon. Amazon, you can research as much as you want, and eventually you will find the best deal if you research hard enough. So a deal or a discount is a marketing tool to get you to buy what you think is cheaper but may not actually be cheaper. And so what is important is not that it's labeled a deal. What is important is the final cost and the quantity of what you buy. So that brings me to the next one. If you are not buying things that you do not need, the next step is buying what you do need, and you can buy them in bulk or in small quantities strategically. So I recommend being strategic about what you need. Certain items you can definitely buy in smaller quantities on purpose, and then other items you can buy in larger quantities on purpose. And so certain things it is better to buy in bulk for better prices. For example, I go to the store and I buy salad, onions, and other items in bulk. This is because you will eat them on a daily basis and they will deplete pretty fast. And so other things I recommend buying in smaller quantities because, there are no need to buy them in the larger quantities. For example, you could avoid buying clothing in bulk. We really don't need as much clothing as we buy. You could always layer your clothing or layer your outfits. And then something you can buy in bulk or may avoid purposefully buying in bulk is huge shampoo and conditioner bottles. Unless you're a party of 3 people plus, you really don't need large bottles because they really do last forever. And even my hair being long and pretty thick, I actually don't go through that much shampoo and conditioner. It really takes me forever to get through it all. So you really don't have to buy that big of a quantity. You can really buy smaller quantities. So the next one is buy less and spend less in your present moment. So money today is more valuable than money tomorrow. And that is why you can spend less today and invest more and really benefit tomorrow. Spending less today and paying less tax today allows you to put more money into investing and multiplying your money, and then in the long run living a better lifestyle. So don't fall prey to marketing. Buy only the quantities you need in the size that you need, and then all of the savings that you make, invest that money. And in the long term, you will be better off for that. So the next tip is invest your extra money. So instead of spending money on things that you don't need, invest and grow your money so that you can live financially free with less stresses. Having things creates chaos, creates stress, and you have to manage your things. So that's more effort. It's more time and it's more energy that you have to spend. So if I have a huge closet of 100 items, as the example, by the way, then I have to organize these items, do laundry for these items, clean these items, and when they get stains, I have to clean those too. But if I have 30 items, then it's just so much easier to do laundry. It's so much easier to maintain them, and clean them and fold them. So my recommendation is, don't have, a home full of clutter and lots of things. It takes more energy to manage all the things that you have. So if you live your life with less things, your life will have less stress and less effort. It's just an easier lifestyle. Give yourself that easier lifestyle. So the more things you have, the more stress you will have. And, things really cause chaos in your life. You get forced to organize more things, clean more things, carry more bags into the house, fix and maintain more things, etc. And so it is just a lot of effort that we really don't think about. We just, are forced to doing. But if you minimize how many things you have, you can minimize this effort too, and really help your productivity overall. So allow yourself to live a simpler life and really open up your day to do more fun activities by simply having less things that you have to maintain. So the next tip to living frugally is use public transportation. If you have ever noticed, in the United States, we really do have one of the worst public transportation systems, and it is literally the year of 2023. So, why is that? Well, I personally believe it is because economically we just are running a business throughout our country. It's economically better for everyone to own their own car and have all these expenses associated with having a car, instead of taking, public transportation. In reality, it's better for the earth, it's better for the environment for us to have public transportation, and it's also way faster. Countries in Europe and Asia who have public transportation, they save money as a country. The government saves money. They can make money through these public transportation systems, and charge for these systems. They can also improve the environment and, save the earth we live on, minimize climate change, and reduce waste and all these other environmental benefits, if we just had public transportation. And we can also expedite travel. Travel is way quicker on a train than it is in a car. You can drive in a car 70 to 80 miles per hour, but in a train you could go hundreds of miles per hour. So we need to build more trains. And then also, when I went to Japan, they have way better city structures and architecture and mapping. So they would have their train systems, and then they would have next to the train system all of their public restaurants and commercialized things to do and activities and fun things. And then if you walked a little further out, you would get to the residential areas. So basically, the public transportation was just so strategically mapped out that you would have your trains go from city to city. Once you exit the train, you're in this commercialized area where you can do fun things and eat at restaurants, and then you walk further out, and then you get to all the residential, homes. And so that layout is just so smart. as an economy or as a market or even for residents. It's very convenient, very easy, and that as you're walking home or driving home, you are definitely going to stop at, a store or restaurant. So overall, that layout is just smart for any economy, for any city, and it's also smart for humanity. It's good for the environment. We literally need more public transportation in the United States. It is literally a huge need. And as humanity, we need to utilize public transportation more. And so, back to the topic, we know trains and subways are technologically advanced. They travel fast, they run efficiently, they're great for the environment and climate change in comparison to other transportation methods. Nevertheless, we are ongoingly failing to construct trains and subways in Seattle, in the state of California or Florida, or pretty much any state. All the states have minimal, if any, subways and trains, but in reality, technologically, in the year 2023, we all know how to construct them as a society. It's not that complicated. We've had trains, in humanity for so many years, centuries. Let's please implement more public transportation in all of our cities. It's just the thing we need to do. And so have you ever really wondered why? Well, again, I think USA is built on a system of consumerism. Our society encourages consumerism, and so it's really best for the economy for us to all have our own vehicle, pay our maintenance costs, get our insurance, spend money on gas, get our driving tickets from the police officers, and pay our state fees. But instead, you would save all this money on maintenance, the purchase price, the insurance, the gas, if you just simply took the train. So to live frugally, take public transportation, take a bus, take a subway, take a train, help the environment, minimize climate change and save money by, taking public transportation. You can also move to a place with a lower cost of living and specifically better public transportation. Next, you can definitely bike, run, and walk to the places you need to go. If possible, definitely prioritize biking, running, walking more places, as long as doing so is safe, of course. Doing so will definitely add healthy exercise into your life and really also save you money. And so I love biking. I really enjoy having the breeze go through your hair, and you do get places pretty fast. And so I also find that biking is a little bit more safe, because if someone wants to attack you, they literally have to separate you from you and your bike. You just grab onto your bike and just go fast. And then someone would have to, separate you from your bike, and then also I feel safer on a bike. Now running, you should probably run with a buddy, or walk with a buddy. But always, you could even bike with a buddy. It's always funner that way. So I really enjoy biking. You can definitely get places a little faster and enjoy the breeze and enjoy the scenery, and you could go shopping on a bike with a little basket. It's really a great experience. And the whole time you're exercising and living a healthier life as well. And so, try to take public transportation more, but also bike, run, and walk places more. The next thing you can do to live more frugally is cook at home. Cooking at home is definitely less expensive and timely than eating out due to taxes, tips, other fees, and waiters do take a lot of time usually. Unless you're getting fast food, but then fast food is usually not as healthy anyway. So the price that you pay at a restaurant has to account for food costs, but also the cost to pay the workers and the chef. And so you will save a lot of money if you just simply eat at home. You will also save time because you don't have to wait for the food to be prepped and ready and served to you. And you will also save gas money because you don't have to drive around from restaurant to restaurant. You just simply eat in the comfort of your home. So you'll save a lot of money if you just cook at home and eat at home. So next we have pack a lunch and use lunch bags. You can plan meals ahead of time and pack them into a bag for work, beach days, picnics, and you will definitely save a lot of money instead of going to the beach bar and getting a tab, eating at the restaurant for lunch, or renting out your equipment for a fun activity. You can buy the equipment that you need. You can bring the drinks that you need, and you can, pack a lunch for your day. And then also, you can plan your meals ahead of time, and you'll really save time and money. And you'll probably eat healthier too. When you plan your meals and you plan your day, you will probably live a more productive and healthier day. Next, we have live in smaller places. And so we all strive to live in a home with all these different bedrooms, bathrooms, huge kitchens, and, a pool or jacuzzi or literally anything we can fit into the house or yard, we will do it. But we really don't need all of this. Make an active choice to save money on rent. Save money on mortgage. Save money on taxes, utilities, maintenance, by simply buying a smaller home. When you have a smaller home, you're going to save so much money, and you really don't need all this space or, stuff. So buy a smaller place, live in a smaller place, rent a smaller place. Just, get what you need. Buy something that gives your kids, fun bunk beds or rooms to stay, but just get them what they need. You mostly sleep in your bedroom anyway, so you really don't need all these different things, and you could always have multiple people, ideally just two, in one bedroom, and then give yourself an office space, and then you can be productive by having an office space. I think an office space is definitely a very helpful thing to have. And then maintain your bedroom as an area for sleep, not necessarily an area for TV or entertainment. You can really, save money by just having like an entertainment room, an office, and then just simply sleeping in your bedroom. Instead of having all these different things and all these different spaces, just maintain the things that you need. Next one is reduce your energy consumption. So when you're living in your home, you can definitely turn off the lights, adjust your thermostat, buy energy efficient appliances, and unplug electronics when you're not using them. This will really allow for you to save money on energy bills while also minimizing your impact on the environment around you and, really help us mitigate climate change. And so the next item is you can definitely buy used things. The thrift store, garage sales, Craigslist, eBay, and online marketplaces, for example, like on Facebook. They're definitely a great place for finding good things for cheaper amounts of money. You can buy things used, and these items can be in pretty good condition. You just need to know where to look and find these good items. And if you research and have a little patience, you can definitely find some good things for a great deal. And my funnest tip was that recently I found out that Amazon Prime allows you to buy things used for a cheaper price. And so I bought a really expensive vacuum for like 60 to 80 bucks cheaper by simply buying it used on Amazon. And when it arrives in its packaging, it looks like a brand new vacuum. So I really think I got a good deal. I saved a lot of money, and my vacuum is great. It does its job and it looks clean. It came in the mail, brand new looking, and I literally got it for like a lot of money cheaper because vacuums can be really like pricey, so saving 50 to 80 bucks is a great thing. So even Amazon Prime allows you to buy things used, and you can definitely look out for these kind of deals. And another great website to take advantage of is Swappa. SWAPPA. This is a great site for buying like cell phones and electronics that are used but come to you similarly in pretty good condition. And you could actually choose, what kind of condition you want the product to come in. And so every cell phone that I've ever purchased, and I think I've bought at this point probably more than 6 separate cell phones, and I think one or two, probably two MacBook Pro laptops, and all of them have always worked well. I've not had any problems. I've always used each one of them for several years. And what's even like kind of crazy is the fact that for example, one of the phones I bought on Swappa, I can't remember how, but I had like a warranty on it at Best Buy for some reason. I don't remember. I think what it was is that I bought like a brand new phone. My brand new phone died, so I bought a Swappa to replace it, and then I think I had a warranty for it somehow. I might have I don't remember. But anyway, somehow I went to Best Buy and switched out my Swappa with a brand new phone for like, I think it was like $250. And I'm like, okay, you could take my Swappa phone that's like used and not that cool and switch it out for a brand new phone of that upgraded version for just $250. No problem, I'll do it. I don't really remember the entire like story of like how that all went down, but basically my point is buy on Swappa, buy it on a deal, and you can always get like warranties on it, but I just don't know how that works, so good luck on that. So finally, living frugally can really be awesome. It doesn't really necessarily mean sacrificing your quality of life. It just means like living smarter and doing things strategically and, really focusing on your basic needs in life. And so it's about making better choices and living less consumption and materialism focused lifestyle. So I personally prefer living on less and doing more fun activities. Life is not about the car you drive or the shoes you wear or the home you live in. Life is about what you do with the moments given to you. It is about all the different things that you can do and explore, and the activities and spending time with others. And so, are you living a lifestyle that really allows you to make the most of things and really enjoy all the fun activities the world has to offer? These things are not just about the objects you have, a thing. Living with less is less effort, and it really allows you to have more time for the people and the things that truly matter.